Welcome to another episode of the Wolfswood. I have my co-host as always, well not always, but as often as he can.
Most of the time, yep.
Cameron Davidson,
hey,
the King of the North.
How's it going?
Pretty good. I am pumped for a Lannister box. Easily my favorite faction, lore and card-wise.
Yeah, you would.
You're a Stark guy. So before we get in the pack, how do you feel about Lannister? Like in the card game itself, like do you like playing them, or are they not one of your favorite houses?
I think right now, just because they are really popular, I don't like playing them that much, and I also feel like Tywin is just kind of silly. Well, like especially when you get them set up, it's just like such a huge advantage. But so no, I don't really enjoy playing them right now. But I will say that this box does have me excited to try them out again. Definitely opens up a couple new decks for them. So
it could be worse too. Tywin could have pillage. So
true.
And just for a heads up, guys, we're doing this we're going through these cards pre-release, so a few of these cards are spoilers that have translations, but we're like fairly certain that the translations are like 99% accurate. So the images you'll be seeing are the final cards, but then we may have a word or two off when we read through them.
Yep.
All right, we're gonna start right away with the Queen of the Lannisters. Cersei Lannister, a 7-cost loyal Lannister character with an intrigue and a power icon, 6 strength, lady and queen traded. Cersei Lannister does not kneel when declared as an attacker during an intrigue challenge, and she has a reaction. After one or more cards are discarded from an opponent's hand, if you do not support that player, Cersei Lannister gains 1 power, limit 3 times per round. Cameron, what do you think?
I think she is really, really good. It's the kind of character you want to build a deck around. She reminds me a lot of Fat Cat, or the Catelyn from the Stark Deluxe box, where it's, they're kind of these big, flashy 7-costers, both accumulating power in interesting ways. But yeah, I mean, I think this is overall better than Catelyn, but she does cost 7, so she is an investment. But she is very, very strong, undeniably so.
Yes, and not kneeling is probably one of the strongest abilities in the game. Not kneeling is even above standing, so it's a pretty powerful effect to not kneel for a challenge. It's only as an attacker, but still. This card's really good. It's going to be hard competing with Tywin. Again, it's nice in Lannister. You can run more than one 7-cost character. She's also competing with Gregor.
Yeah.
I think it just completely depends on your deck. If your deck is heavy intrigue focused, you're going to run her maybe over Gregor, but I don't think you're ever going to be able to cut, at least for now, Tywin. He's too good.
Yeah, I think, we're reaching that point, at least with Lannister, where it's like you really kind of have to start picking and choosing what 7-costers you want to include. You can't run 3 of her, 3 of Tywin, and like 3 of Gregor. Like, I mean, you can, but you're going to run into some pretty bad setups, especially if you have a lot of events in your deck, because 7-costers are really hard to set up unless you get that magical steward in place, or the reducer guys.
You could go nuts with the 7-costers with things like the jumping lion events and the recently released Harrenhal. I don't know. I'm not quite sure if it's a thing you want to be doing, but it could be interesting. Now, we're mostly a Joust focused. We always base our numbers and scores on Joust. But Melee, I think this card is one of the best Melee cards. The fact that she can trigger off anyone discarding cards, whether for reserve, 2 different opponents doing entry challenges against each other, she could get 3 power almost every turn, and she becomes a huge threat for
your
your
as long
opponents.
as you don't support that player, right?
Yes.
I agree with you. At the same time, because she is so good, obviously, if she is racking up that much power, she becomes a huge target for your table, which is fine as long as you can keep her alive, and find a way to close the game before they can deal with her.
Think about Master of Whispers too. When you trigger on everyone on the whole table, she could get 2 to 3 power from that.
Yep. Which
is pretty gross.
All right.
But for Joust, what would you rate her?
Due to her cost mostly, I'm gonna have to. I can't give her a 5. I'm gonna go with a 4.5. I know she's very strong, but that 7 cost is quite an investment. So.
It shames me to say I'm gonna have to go with a 4, pretty much for the same reasons. I'm a huge fan of Cersei, but I'm gonna go with a 4. There's too much competition for crazy characters right now with her.
All right, and up next we have a Tyrion Lannister, a new version of Tyrion. He is a 7 cost character with a military, intrigue, and power icon, 5 strength, loyal, and a lord, and has a reaction. After you win a challenge, return an attacking clansman character to your hand to choose 1, draw 2 cards, gain 3 gold, or raise the claim value on your revealed plot card by 1 until the end of the challenge, limit twice per phase.
I am so excited. They weren't the best. My 2 favorite deck types to play in 1.0 were Clansmen and Boltons, and this card screams exciting new decks. I just can't wait, and I love how powerful it is because it needed to be super strong to compete with the Tyrion that gives you like 2 to 4 gold every single round, which is ridiculous. But the fact that you can either draw 2 cards, gain 3 gold, or raise the claim, and all your clansmen want to be back in your hand so they can pop out and surprise people. There's a lot. We're gonna get to them. There's a lot of ambush, a lot of surprise effects. This guy is freaking great. Only for a clansman deck though. He does not. Yes. I don't think he slots into decks that are floating like just burn men or a few clansmen. He's only a clansman.
He's only for that deck. He is niche, but he's very strong for that deck. It does suck that you are losing the other Tyrion. I think the opportunity cost does hurt this card. But yeah, if you're playing Clansman, you're playing Tyrion, or this Tyrion, and out of all these reactions he can do, I would say the claim raising is the most juicy.
Oh yeah.
That could lead to some real nastiness, especially since you can do it twice. But yeah, again, another 7 coster goes to that argument. It's like how many are you running? Again, this is a different type of deck, so there's that. But he's really good.
Keep in mind too that his reaction, it is limit twice per phase, but that doesn't mean you can trigger it twice for winning a challenge. You only can trigger this once per challenge.
Yeah.
And it could be good too, because you're right. You can raise the claim, but say they have a strong board, like a large board, I guess you could say. You can choose to gain 3 gold instead and play Put to the Sword, and they can pay for it now. There's so many fun combos, and drawing 2 cards. Drawing 2 cards is pretty huge.
Yeah.
What would you rate him?
Boy. Again, nice reaction. It is only on attack. A milk would make him real sad. He's 7. Tricon's good. I don't know. I'm gonna go with a 4. I think he is a strong card, but he is only for Clansman decks.
I'm gonna go with a 4.5. This card's, I think it's probably closer to a 4, but I think just the excitement of building something completely different than he normally would brings him up a 0.5 for me.
Sure.
Next up, we have Sir Kevan Lannister. He is a 6-cost unique Lannister character. He is Knight, Lord, Small Council traded, with an intrigue power icon and 4 strength. Reaction. After you marshal Kevan Lannister, choose a Lannister or neutral location or attachment card from your discard pile and put it into play. This card was designed by the 2012 AGOT LCG Chinese champion Bing. I'm not going to butcher that last name. So
Wu Yang.
Very familiar.
Yeah, he's familiar. He's good. He's expensive, but you're getting stuff back for playing him. I don't think you ever play more than one of him, but no. He's a really great kind of utility card. I like that he can also grab attachments and locations. So what do you think?
You can say this about a lot of cards, but I think this, more than a lot of others, is going to keep getting better and better and better as more cards come out. Like right now, the money thing to keep triggering with him is the King's Road, to grab a King's Road with him. But you can combo this. Like we're going to come up with a Lannister event later on that lets you return characters to your hand. That could be huge for him because you could trigger him twice.
Sure.
So there's a lot of cool things you can do with him.
I mean, that's an expensive thing to do, but sure. That's an option you have. Yep.
But I think mostly, it's kind of boring, but I think right now, mostly what you're going to be doing is spending a King's Road, playing him, get that King's Road back. So you're paying 3 less gold for him, essentially.
Yep. I think he's solid. He's not super flashy, but he, like I said, he's just a good utility card. He can grab recurse stuff for you that you want to see. I'm going to go with a 3.5.
I'm gonna go with a 3.52. I think he is a one of you're gonna play right now, but his stock is going to rise as more packs come out and more Lannister locations.
All right, sounds good. All right, and up next we have Timett, son of Timett. He is a unique clansman character, of course. 6 costs, military and power icon with 4 strength, not loyal, and a clansman. And he has reaction. After you win a challenge in which Timett, son of Timett, is attacking, choose and kill a character with printed cost X or lower. X is the number of clansman characters you control.
I thought Tyrion was really good for clansmen, but I think after playing a few games with this guy, he is even more impactful than Tyrion. His ability is ridiculous. It can decimate your opponent's board. He's not the linchpin like he was in 1.0 of your entire deck, but he is huge. I'm glad he doesn't have any keywords, because right now I'm going to give him a 5. He can be just devastating against your opponent's board.
Jumping right to the score, huh?
Oh yeah, this guy has got me so excited. He's even better than Tyrion.
He's very good. I mean, as we know by now, repeatable kill like Miri and Tyene can be really nasty to deal with, and this guy is kind of in that same ballpark with just a different way of going about it. He's going to change the board state once once he drops. He's going to make your opponent play differently, basically, and have to worry about him and among other things. And yeah, I think he's really good and definitely a linchpin of the Clansman deck. What you give him 5?
A 5. If he'd be bonkers if he even had one keyword that wasn't pillage. He's really strong.
He's really strong. But he is only a Clansman thing.
I like that he's only 4 strength. So things like Dracarys and you can and Crown of Gold, because I think this character is powerful enough. He needs to be a little weak in one aspect.
I know he's going to be a pain in the butt to deal with, so I'm going to go with 4.5.
All right. Do you run him ×3? You think?
Man, I don't know. I mean, I haven't even
in a Clansman deck.
Yeah, I mean, at least 2, I would say.
Because even if you're playing just floating him and you're not playing Clansman deck, you could have just him and a burn man out, and I'm gonna kill one of your chuds on top of the claim and anything else. It's gross.
Yep. All right.
Moving on, we have Sir Jaime Lannister. He's a 5-cost unique character, military and intrigue icon, 4 strength, and he's a Kingsguard and Knight traded. Important thing to note: the last Jaime Lannister was not Kingsguard traded. Each Knight character you control gains renown while attacking alone, and he has a challenges action. Choose a Kingsguard character, and until the end of the phase, that character gains an intrigue icon. Limit once per phase.
I think this is a weird card to make right now because it's just Kingsguard aren't really a thing. It could be. I mean, if we get more Kingsguard cards that are, as solid as this is, sure, maybe. But right now, it's I don't see why you'd play this over the other one.
No.
That said, it's a solid card on its own. It has good stats. But yeah, I just think the core set just trumps him right now.
Yeah, I think this is supposed to represent young Jaime, maybe pre the first book. Especially since it has the same art as the Shadows Jaime art from first edition. You can't compare it to the first one. For 1 more gold, you get a character that doesn't kneel and has renown and doesn't have to be attacking alone.
Well, it has.
He only has renown during military.
They're both conditional renown, right? But more reliable renown, I would say.
I don't know if it necessarily would have fit his character, but I almost wish he had a military and power icon. So then if he wanted to, he could just give himself an intrigue icon. I like that it's free and it doesn't cost a gold. Celeste does the same thing. You have to pay a gold, but she can target anyone, and that's only for 3 gold. And this is 5 costs, and it's a wait and wait and wait, and then it'll be good.
Yeah.
It's like a double wait and see, because I feel like we're not going to get a Kingsguard theme. You got to flesh out a lot of houses before you start putting a Kingsguard.
I would say if we had some Kingsguard support right now, I'd give him a 3.5. But because there's just not that.
There's only one other Kingsguard card. There's Barristan Selmy. That's it.
But because there's just nothing right now, I'm just gonna go with a 3. I think he's fine, but because there's no support, yeah.
I would also give it a 3.
All right, sounds good. All right, moving right along, we have Tywin Lannister. He is a 5-cost character, intrigue power icon, 5 strength. He is loyal. He's the Lord and small council traded, and he has the keyword pillage. He has an interrupt. When exactly one card is discarded from a player's deck, instead look at the top 2 cards of that player's deck and discard 1.
This card's a mess to me. It's not. It should be called anyone else besides Tywin. I don't know who would make this. Maybe Wrath the Sweetling. This would make way more sense if this was Wrath the Sweetling. I don't know why it's the Big Papa of Lannister is this 5-cost character that's far inferior.
Yeah.
I get maybe if you're running Cersei's and Rhaegar's and then you're like, I'm gonna throw this guy in. The pillage thing is cute. Yeah. I've played it a few times now. We're gonna come up with a few other characters that he can interact with, like the Tickler and Rhaegar and Rhaegar's men. But it just even that look at the top 2 doesn't usually sway you enough to want to play this character. I think it has pillage, no renown. He doesn't have renown. That's ridiculous to me.
I think in just a Nedley sense, it could be a reflection of like his ability to kind of like foresee things and like scheme and plan ahead and just kind of, you know what I mean? I think that's kind of what they're trying to do with it. But I agree that the card is pretty underwhelming. If you really want to go crazy on the Gregor stuff, here's your answer.
Have fun.
But like, I just think the other Tywin is just too dumb to
like
pass up
dumb,
on.
Stupid dumb.
Yeah. So yeah, a bit of a miss. And like you said, I think if it was a different character, then yeah, we'd have a different conversation about it. But it's Tywin, so for me, it's a 2.
I'm giving it a 3.5. It's not terrible. It'd be fine if it wasn't named Tywin Lannister. Yeah. It's gonna find its place eventually. It's just I think it's a waste of a Tywin design. One thing we can touch on too is the small council trait. That's slowly starting to matter. What do we have for small council members right now? We have Varys, Littlefinger, Eddard, this guy, and they gave Barristan Selmy the small council trait, I believe. So right now there's no interactions between small council characters, but maybe in this pack there is.
Maybe. Yeah. All right.
Oh yeah, I'm excited for this one.
Are you doing this?
Yep. This is one of my old favorites in 1.0. Chella, Daughter of Chek. 4-cost military intrigue icon, 3 strength, clansman traded. Chella, Daughter of Chek gets +1 strength for each ear token she has. While she has 3 or more ear tokens, she gains Intimidate and Renown. And she has a reaction. After a character is killed during a challenge in which Chella, Daughter of Chek is attacking, place an ear token on her. I
can't wait to see people make like custom ear tokens.
It's already happening. Someone already did it one.
Okay. She's really good, obviously. And she reminds me actually of the Blackfish, where once you kind of build up a bit, that's when she gets really nasty, or that's when the Blackfish gets nasty, so when he has 4 more power. It's kind of the same kind of idea. So yeah, if she does get those ear tokens and she has Intimidate and Renown, that's pretty gross for a 4-cost character. But yeah, even if not though, I mean, it's a solid body and a great card for the Clansman. What do you think?
It's a staple. You might want to run 3. The fact that she's immune to first snow, and she can gain Intimidate and Renown eventually, and she gets +1 strength for every one. So by the time you get 3 ear tokens on her, she's going to be 6 strength and Renown with Intimidate, which is pretty good. There's also, we'll get to a little friend of hers later on that's going to interact with her. It'll help you get there faster. But if you get 1 ear token on her a turn, you're doing good. Yeah. You play Push to the Sword that turn, you get 2 on her. Yeah. You raise the claim with Tyrion, you'll get 2 ears on her.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd play 3, but I think argument could be made for 2. And she will see play even outside of Clansman decks as well.
Sure. I think she's a 1 of if you're not playing Clansman.
Yeah.
You'll float 1 of her.
Yep. I'm going to go with 4.5.
I am going to go with a 4.
All right. And up next, we have a non-unique Lannister character, Sir Gregor's Marauders. It's a 4-cost character with a military and intrigue icon, 4 strength, non-loyal, House Clegane, and Raider traded. Has a keyword Pillage and a reaction. After Sir Gregor's Marauders discards an event using Pillage, stand Sir Gregor's Marauders.
You see the word stand, and people get really excited. They think this card's a lot better than it is. I actually think its best attributes is its 4-to-4 ratio with 2 icons. I've played games with this card. I've had Tywin out the entire game with this card. It relies way too much on your opponent's deck. Our start decks right now are like running like 3 or 4 events. There's like weird decks you can face that run a lot. There's some decks you can face that run few. Stand is powerful, but I think it needed to hit something else besides just events for that reaction to be great.
Yeah, I agree. I think even if your opponent's running like, I mean, what would you consider normal, like 6, 7, 8 in there maybe for events? Even then, the chances are going to be pretty low. But you have like right now in the current meta, Stark is a pretty dominant faction and tends to run 2 or 3 events, or a very low number. And other decks as well can do that. Like Martell maybe only runs tiers in the attachments.
Because they're running extra attachments.
Yeah, right. So it's like you have a lot of decks out there now that are kind of event light. So it makes this card even a harder sell. I agree. I think it maybe should have added attachments as well in addition. But as it is, I'm going to give it a 2.
In the last pack review, I gave Sir Armory a 3.5. I'm going to give this guy the same rating. His ability isn't quite as strong as just getting renown, but if you need that military intrigue, which you normally don't, but if you want, but it's a nice Lannister is waiting for a 4-cost character that's non-unique, that isn't the gold cloaks. But I'm gonna give it a 3.5.
All right.
Next we have Shega, son of Dolph. He's a 3-cost unique Lannister character, 4-strength military icon. He's a clansman. And while Shega, son of Dolph is in your hand, he gains ambush 0 if you control a clansman character or Tyrion Lannister. He has a forced reaction. After Shega, son of Dolph enters play using ambush, choose and kill a Lannister character you control.
He's good. He's really good.
It's scary, but he's good.
Free, right? That ambush 0 is what makes this really, really good, even with the downside. I mean, he combos well with the Boy King, right? That's like, oh, here's that Boy King trigger. It's an interesting combo with Crossroads Sellsword. I know that card isn't really being played, but hey, there's that. Also, if maybe one of your characters gets tears, it's like, oh, well, that character's gonna die anyway, so there's that.
Yeah.
I just think the fact that he's just free is just like what makes this card great.
And the fact that you can just play him if you really wanted to, if you couldn't kill anyone, he was 3 for 4 is good.
Yep.
One cute combo you're missing, which is really good, is with Chella. You have Chella going in a military challenge. You throw this guy in, kill your guy. She gets an ear token on her, which is really fun that you can combo the 2 cards together that way.
Yeah, sure.
That the 2 characters interact, which I think is like the best case scenario with him. He's really good, but that ability can be scary. What would you rate him?
I'm gonna go 3.5. I like him.
3.5 for me too.
All right. And next up, we have a unique Lannister character, Taena Merryweather. I'm gonna go with that. She is 3-cost intrigue power icon, 2 strength, and non-loyal. She has reaction after you play an event. Choose and discard 1 card from your hand to draw a card. What do you think?
Super good. It doesn't seem like it is, but it's super good. And Dark Wings Dark Words is gonna come out eventually. It's a champ card. It's amazing with Dark Wings Dark Words. It's a one of. I think right now it's an automatic one of, especially since she has that intrigue power. You really want that power icon. She's solid. It's not a forced reaction. I like it. Jumping Lions, she's an auto include in Jumping Lions.
Yeah, it is pretty good. I mean, you will want to have quite a few events, I guess, to get some use out of her. I mean, you don't have to go too nuts, because even if you're not using her, she's a solid body, like you mentioned. But being able to kind of filter your hand in this way is really, really nice. Like if you have just some dead cards, if you have like dupes you're just not going to be using and stuff, you can get rid of them and draw a card when you play an event. Yeah, I think she's a good one of. I think I would probably give her a 3.
I'm gonna give her a 3.5. She needs to be in the right deck though. I said auto include, but you need to have events, which Lannister does because they have so many good ones.
All right, sounds good.
One thing we forgot to mention too is another lady character for whatchamacallit? What's the brand? Things I Do for Love. Target for Things I Do for Love. And also a companion, Hop Pie. Come on. Neil her. Come on.
Hop by hype.
Hop Pie hype. Next we have Moon Brothers. They're a 3-cost, non-unique clansman character with a military icon and 3 strength. It has an action. During a challenge in which you control an attacking clansman character, kneel your faction card to put Moon Brothers into play from your hand, standing, participating as an attacker. Any challenge, doesn't have to be military.
Yep, that's what makes this good. And what also makes this good is that it's not like a thing where it bounces back. It's like you're basically playing this character for a faction deal, right?
Unless you're playing Tyrion.
Yeah, but yeah, any challenge is really, really key here, and it is only on attack, but yeah, it's nice, and it gets around like first snow, despite the fact that it's a 3-cost character. I mean, you're going to be playing this thing anyway during first snow turn, so good stuff.
The faction card, Neil, seems like a steep price, but I actually think it's a good price for this because it's a really strong card.
Mm-hmm.
It's not quite as bonkers as the 1.01. I think the 1.01 was like you pay a gold and like all your clansman characters are +1, but it's a solid character. You ×3 of this guy in a clansman deck.
Or ×2. It is a faction deal. So
he can go into any challenge. He's the card you want to be drawing and using Tyrion's ability with, is this card.
Okay, we'll see.
I would give him a 4.
3.5. So up next we have Red Keep Spy, non-unique Lannister character, once again. 3-cost, intrigue icon, 3 strength, and loyal. It's an ally and a spy, has ambush 4, and a reaction. After Red Keep Spy enters play using ambush, choose a character with printed cost 3 or lower. If you have more cards in your hand than that character's controller, return it to its owner's hand.
So let's compare this card to the core set, Queen's Assassin. So the Queen's Assassin costs 1 less, but also has 1 less strength, but all the stats are the same. It's loyal, same traits. I think this card goes in a deck where you're running Cersei, where you would rather have a card in their hand for you to discard and have her get power than choosing to kill. This is the card you're playing. You're not playing the first snow try to wipe you out Lannister deck.
It's also cute. You can also, I don't think it would happen very often, but Heads on Spikes is a thing as well with this card.
Oh, that is true. Yeah. And Cersei gets a power from that too, because discarded from their hand.
So it's a cute little combo there. Another key difference between this card and the Queen's Assassin is the Queen's Assassin, the controller chooses a character to die.
True.
This card, you choose the character, although there is that printed cost restriction. If I had to pick a card of these two that I like more, I think I do like this one slightly more.
Yes.
Just because of that mainly. It's a solid card. The Queen's Assassin can be good, so I think this can be good as well. I think I'm going to give it a 3.
I'm going to give it a 3 as well. It's a good inclusion in an intrigue-heavy deck.
Agreed. All right, moving right along. Ryan, go for it.
All right, next we have another unique Lannister character, Alysanne.
Nailed it.
She's 2 costs, intrigue icon, 2 strength. She's companion traded. She's a reaction. After you win a challenge in which Alysanne is participating, move 1 gold from the losing opponent's gold pool to your own.
I mean, we know people are just going to be saying with this card all the time, right? But no, I think she's okay. The thing I don't like about her is that she has an intrigue icon. It's just really redundant in Lannister. Although, without it, you might not be able to trigger her reaction because you should be winning intrigue in Lannister. So it's a little give and take there. I think she's all right. Nothing mind-blowing. What do you think?
Her stock goes up a little bit when Valor comes out, when you maybe want to run like one of uniques. I think it really fails to capture the character, and it's a waste of that reaction's pretty boring. So in the book, she's the one that Tyrion pretends to be with, where he's really with Shay. So I think it'd been really cool if she had some kind of OSHA ability, where it's like you win a challenge, but then you can throw her in and take your better character out of it. It's really boring, and I currently, in my Lannister deck, I don't include this card. I would give it a 2.5. It's cute, but it's not needed at all.
It is cute. I'm going to go with the 2.
Ooh.
Yep.
I'm bringing mine down to a 2. I feel like 2.
All right.
2.5
yeah, you feel the 2, don't you?
Yeah,
it's a 2.
Yeah.
All right.
Companion again. I tell you,
hot pie hype.
I hope there's a hot pie agenda with all the companions.
All right.
I'm sure the next 2-cost character will be better here.
Let's move right along. Up next, we have Sir Lancel Lannister. He's a unique Lannister character, of course. Two cost, military and intrigue icon, 0 strength, not loyal, knight, and lord. And says, while you control exactly one other Lannister lord or lady character, Sir Lancel Lannister gets +X strength. X is that character's strength.
So I thought long and hard about this, and I'm gonna give this guy a 5 on theme. He's very thematic. It fits his theme. I'm gonna give him a 1.5 as an actual card. You cannot play this card, even if you're playing like a Clansman deck where you have very few lords. It's like, oh look it, I drew him when I just had Tyrion out, and he has 5 strength.
So what?
Yeah, exactly. He has good traits though. But he has 0 strength, so that means even if you attacked with him in a challenge by himself, even if your opponent said unopposed, you couldn't win it.
Yeah.
Again though, for Nedliness, I think it's really Nedly. But it's Nedly to a fault.
Yep. It's cute. That's about all.
If he had 1 strength, he would be interesting.
Sure. Boy, I'm going to give it a 1.5, I guess.
All right.
Yeah, I'm really close to saying a 1 though. That's like
I'm very close.
Borderline.
I think he could have cost 1 even for this ability.
Yeah.
I get you can have the stars align and be like, haha, I have Tywin out and him. Yeah. But no.
If it didn't try so hard.
Gregor, though, like if he's out with Gregor, you're like, yeah, he's 10 strength.
Okay.
It's just so situational.
Yeah, exactly.
He will die fast.
Yes. All right. Moving right along.
Next we have the king himself, Tommen Baratheon. He's a 2-cost unique Lannister character with a power icon and 2 strength. He has the king and lord trait. Each player with no cards in his or her hand cannot gain power from challenges bonuses, and challenges bonuses are unopposed and rivals.
I think his ability is fine. Nothing earth-shattering. I think why you play him is because of the power icon, the cost, and the traits, pretty much. Yeah, I think he's a good little chud, but he's not gonna change the world.
I disagree a lot. I think his ability is his strongest thing. If you're playing Reigns of Castamere deck, we'll get to that card, but if you're playing an intrigue-heavy deck, you have Cersei, you're stripping cards out of their hands, your opponent's doing military challenges against you, or power challenges, and you want to keep your character standing for your own challenges, you say unopposed, and they get nothing. I've had this guy stop like 5 of my opponent's power in games, and I can let some challenges go that I don't have to worry about.
I just don't know how often it's going to happen in my experience. I don't know. Like, if you've had a good luck with him, that's, maybe I'll change my rating here.
He relies on Cersei a lot, because when Cersei is out, it is disgusting, because they're deciding, do I keep cards in hand and lose them and have Cersei get power?
But you don't play more than 1.
No, yeah, you're right. I thought about 2. I'm playing 2 right now just to like draw him more and try him.
Yeah.
But I think he's gonna be a 1 of.
Yeah. I think he's fine. I'm gonna go with 2.5.
I'm gonna go with a 4. I really like him.
All right. All right. Up next, we have a Lannister character, non-unique, Lannisport Guard. He is a 2-cost military and intrigue icon, 2 strength, and he is an ally and guard. Loyal as well. Has a reaction. After you marshal Lannisport Guard, each player draws 1 card.
It's nice that you have a choice now. You can either choose this guy or the Red Cloaks, kind of as your 2-cost chud. I still think you play Burnman on top of whatever you decide. He is super solid. Drawing a card is huge. He replaces himself. He has good icons. Unlike the Lannisport Fisherman, he does replace himself, but he costs 1 more, only has 1 icon. This guy costs 1 less and has 2 icons. He's even loyal, so if you're playing Fealty, he's going to, again, help that Cersei. He's going to help your Reigns of Castamere deck. You may intrigue. They may have no cards in their hand. You're fueling Cersei and getting a card in their hand so you can discard. He's best when you go second. It's a little bit of a bummer. You could be gambling if you're going first and you play him. Mm-hmm. But I think he's a solid chud in the right deck.
Yeah, I think most of the time you're going to be happy with this card, even though you are giving your opponent a card as well. But like you mentioned, you do have the tools to make use of that situation. So it's it's a great little chud. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm going to give it a 4.
4 for me too. He is solid as a rock. Casterly Rock.
Ooh, boy.
Boo! Boo!
Yeah. Moving on to locations, we have a unique location, Golden Tooth. It's a Lannister location. 2 gold, loyal, has Stronghold and the Westerlands trait. It's limited and has an action. Kneel Golden Tooth to gain 1 gold. 3 gold instead if an opponent has no cards in his or her hand.
I'm really glad that they put the explanation about what limited it is on this card. Yeah, it's a great reminder. Thanks, guys. No, but this isn't very good. I don't like it. It's honestly what kills this card for me is the fact that it's limited. I think if this card had costed maybe 1 more and been non-limited, then we'd be talking. But right now, I just don't see it with a limited thing on there.
This card is freaking good. You get their hand. I've been playing with this in my Reigns deck. You get their hand down. You get their hand down to nothing, and during taxation.
Okay. So you're basically saying, so first thing you got to do is you got to win. You got to be winning.
Okay, think about this. The fact that it needed the limited keyword because of the 3 gold thing. You're getting a gold immediately after you use it. And I've been using this card in my Reigns deck. You get to taxation. They have no cards in hand. You kneel that, get 3 gold. You have 3 gold at the start of your next turn. This card, it can be really strong.
It can be, yes.
It's for an intrigue. Again, this is a new type of deck that's coming out where you're really focusing in on the intrigue challenges. You're playing small council chamber. You're trying to
you're putting all your eggs in that basket, and if your opponent does have cards in their hand,
then it just gets you 1 gold every turn. Then it just gets you 1 gold, which isn't the end of the world.
Okay.
Are you
taking out other economy for this?
No, I play this on top. This is
is
like my Bear Island.
You have 10 limited cards.
Yes.
Okay.
I would give it a 4.5. This card has been really good. It can be really generous to you if you work for it.
2.5.
Ooh,
it's okay.
That went down.
We can disagree. All right.
I just think the key thing is it's about getting your opponent's hand down to nothing and then getting that 3 gold. That's why it's good. Maybe limited was too much, but I think it's fair for what it does.
I really like the art too.
Really good art, yes.
And as well as the next card, which is Mountains of the Moon, a unique Lannister location. It costs 1, not loyal. Westeros traded. Has reaction. After a Clansman character enters play, that character gains a challenge icon of your choice until the end of the phase.
So after playing a lot of Clansman games already, this card is a must. You need to play this card ×3. You have to draw it. It is huge to be able to give your Moon Clansmen any icon they want. They pop into that challenge. They gain the icon. They defend that challenge. Doesn't have to be military. Then they gain another icon that turn for you to attack with. Shega gets another icon every single turn. He's a 2-icon character. Your Burnmen get another icon as soon as they come into play. You can trigger this as much as you want. Yeah. For shits and giggles during marshalling, you can just trigger it if you want. It's not going to do anything. But this card, to me, is spectacular for the Clansman characters.
I agree, it's very good, and the reason why it's so good is because there's no limit on it, and
it costs 1.
1 cost locations are a beautiful thing to see on setup as well. I don't know if I'd play 3, but at least 2 in the Clansman deck. You're eventually gonna have to cut cards at some point, so
yes,
we'll see. But great card. I agree with everything you said. I'm gonna give it a 4.
I'm gonna give it a 5. This card, it's been huge in my games to get you those icons that you're missing from those mono icon Clansman characters. It's good. It's think about all the Jumping Lions cards too. This works with all those Jumping Lion cards with the Clansman. You can give them any icon you want. It can be a huge surprise. I'm triggering it.
The event cards is what you're talking
yes.
about. Yes. Okay.
I'm triggering this once or twice every single round, which is great.
Okay.
Lannisport Treasury. It's a non-unique Lannister location. 1 cost, has the Westerlands trait. Reaction after the taxation phase begins. Place 1 gold from your gold pool on Lannisport Treasury. As a marshalling action, kneel Lannisport Treasury to move any number of gold from the Lannisport Treasury to your gold pool.
I like this more than Golden Tooth, mainly because it's not limited. It also costs 1. It's not limited or not unique as well, even though I don't think that's such a big deal. But it in the same way where you can kind of set yourself up for a higher gold plot pretty much at any point. You can save the gold on this card, right, and move it to
yes.
the treasury whenever you want. So you can kind of wait for a really nice first snow turn, or even Valor, right?
You can also stockpile gold on this and put like 2 turns of 1 gold, and then you take 2 off during another turn.
You take it when you need it.
Yeah.
Again, I think what really makes this card, though, is the fact that it's not limited. I do like this card.
I had really struggled finding room for this in my decks. I threw 1 in just to try it. Every time I've ever had it, it's done almost nothing for me. I think it's very underwhelming. I'm gonna have to give it a 2. It's just so far testing hasn't proven its worth for me.
3.5. All right.
Ugh.
What? Whatever.
This attachment?
Oh, the attachment. Oh, okay, sure. All right. Yeah, all right.
All right.
We're on the same page again. Not me. My turn.
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
All right. Next up, we have a unique Lannister attachment. 3-cost loyal attachment. Has the title trait Shield of Lannisport. And it says Lannister Lord or Lady character only. And while you control no Lord or Lady characters with printed cost 4 or higher other than attached character gets +2 strength and gains renown +1 gold.
I got so bored of this card that I started looking at his little like Italian chain, like that little skinny little chain. This card's awful. It's way overpriced. Its targets are, it's Lord or Lady, but still, with printed cost 4 or higher, you can't have any other ones, and all you get out of it is +2 strength and renown.
So wait.
And +1 gold.
Can we just stop and can we just? Is this a Tyrion card? Is that what they were trying to do with the new Tyrion?
Yes.
Okay.
It's kind of like, that's like he's an imp. No one would care what he thinks, but he's from Lannisport, so he has that protecting him. He's a Lannister.
Yeah, that's cute. All right. Boy. It's got the gold, right? So in a way, it's kind of non-limited economy. If you do see it on setup, that's cool, I guess. But let's see.
You can have this and Lancel out and just lose.
You get the gold. You get the gold regardless. Like if you don't meet that condition, you still get the gold, right?
Yes.
So there's that. It is loyal, which is good, I guess. But yeah, that condition is really prohibitive, I think. And if you do happen to be playing it on Jaime or the Mountain or Tywin, it's just redundant. Like those characters really don't need more strength, and they don't need renown. So it's just it's a really cute card and not a very good one.
I'd be furious if I top decked this. I'd be like, well, that's game.
Wait, so are you telling me right now in a pure Clansman deck with maybe...
I couldn't find room for this in that deck. I tried.
Okay.
There's just no room because you still want to run other lords and ladies at this point. You're not going to be like, well, let me cut that 2-claim Intrigue Cersei and throw out Tywin.
I asked you that just to confirm my rating, which is a 1.
I'm going to give it a 1.5 just because it can give you +1 gold. And it's not limited.
Sure.
And it's overpriced. That's why, but it gets a 1.5 because it's not pure trash. It's something you can throw in the garbage disposal, but it's not complete waste. Just don't put it in your deck. So that gives it a 1. It's a 1. It's a 1.
Just talk yourself into it.
It's a 1.
Don't put it in your deck. That means it's waste. All right. Oh, that's great.
All right, moving on to Lannister attachments. We have a Valyrian Steel Dagger. It's a non-unique Valyrian Steel weapon. 2 gold. During an intrigue challenge, attached character gains +2 strength and stealth.
This is really good. Yeah. Strength is always good. Attachments are strong. Stealth is amazing. And that's really why you want to play this card, right? Stealth.
Give this to freaking Cersei. God.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Yep. It's a really good card. I'm not really sure.
It's a must in a Reigns of Castamere deck. Again, we're going to get to it. It's a must in a Reigns of Castamere.
Just to get
you need
the trigger for...
Yes.
Yeah, you'd probably need more than just Tyrion Stealth to make sure you're getting that trigger off. But yeah, it's a solid card. What do you think?
It's good. It's a ×2, and like we said, a heavy intrigue deck. It's not going to go in a Clansman deck, probably. It's not going to go in a Jumping Lions deck, but that intrigue deck, it's a solid attachment. Stealth and +2.
Yeah.
It's only intrigue, but it's the challenge you need to win.
Yeah. I'm going to go with a 3.
I'm going to go with a 3.5.
Okay. Good card. Interesting. I want to see more cards like this. Up next, we have a Lannister event. A Lannister always pays his debts. It's a 3 gold event, loyal, and it says challenges action. Choose an opponent that has won a challenge against you this phase. During this phase, you may initiate an additional military and intrigue challenge against that player. Limit 1 per phase.
Boo freaking yeah, this thing is juicy. Martell wishes they had this card. This card event is so freaking good. You can do 2 more challenges against a player. That's huge.
Yeah.
3 is pricey, but paying 3 gold to do 2 more challenges? That's absurd. That's strong.
It is strong. I don't know.
You can be like, I'm going to military you for 1 strength. Sure, I'll defend that. Well, I'll play this now. I'll do another military challenge against you, and I can do 2 intrigues and a power. Let me decide how I'm going to do that. That is disgusting.
Huh. I mean, it's a card you want to be second player, right?
Or you can just throw away an intrigue or military you don't care about.
A chud challenge, yeah.
Yeah. Because you can just be like, because you get those challenges back, you're still gaining challenges from this.
I mean, I know Lanny is good economy-wise, of course with Tywin around, stuff like that, and these new locations. But even still, because of the price of this card, is this a fealty card just because it's loyal? Or how do you...
That helps, but keep in mind we're gonna get to a plot that makes this insanely cheap. You're gonna play that plot in your scheme deck. We should have started with Reigns of Castamere, to be honest, but we'll get to it.
We're getting there.
It's gonna be easy to pay for. Tyrion gives you 2 of the 3 gold just for doing one challenge.
I'm nervous about including a card like that relies on you having a certain plot out, though. Is the thing that's like that's we're getting.
It doesn't rely on it. There's still times you pay the 3 gold. Oh, I have Tywin out. He's giving me plus 2 gold. You can afford this. It's 2 whole challenges. The biggest thing in this game is challenges. You can do 5 challenges against somebody.
6 with Casterly Rock, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it can be nasty. I'm not gonna disagree with you.
Cersei not kneeling too for any of those.
Yep, it can be gross. I'm not gonna lie. Too bad about the art though, I will say.
Oh. Yeah, it could be way worse. It could be worse. I like how you can see Robin and Lyanna way in the back. Or not Lyanna.
Lysa?
Lysa, yeah. And you can see Catelyn too. It's kind of fun. But
yeah, it's fun.
I like the concept. I don't like the execution. Yes.
What are you going to give it?
4.5, because there's going to be that 0.5 time where you're just like, man, I don't need this right now. But when you do need it, which it's just so good. 4.5. I love it. It's so good.
I can't go that high. I'm going to give it a 4.
All right.
It is good.
I love the art in this one. Insidious Scheme. It's a 1-cost loyal Lannister event with a reaction. After claim is applied for an entry challenge, you won by 5 or more strength. Draw 2 cards. 4 cards instead if the losing opponent has no cards in his or her hand. It's a thing to get your opponent to have no cards in your hand now.
Well, it's trying to be a thing.
Yes.
It's I mean, it will be a thing, sure. Like, whether the thing is good or bad we'll see. But this card's interesting. I mean, if you can get the 4-card thing, that's a big deal. But if you only get the 2 cards, you're really just gaining 1, right? Because you're using this event.
Yes.
So that's... I don't know. It's going to be hard to find a room for this, but maybe? I mean, what do you think?
Mark my words, getting your opponent to having no cards in their hand during challenges is going to be a thing, especially if you're playing Casterly Rock. It's going to happen. It's fine if you don't. It's amazeballs if you do. You can draw 4 cards.
Just think about how many events are there now. With like
that is
tiers,
true.
The one we just talked about, everything else we've talked about.
This is for
jumping events.
This is for a different deck type. You're not playing the jumping events. You will be playing tiers. You'll be playing this. You'll still be playing treachery. You're gonna have and keep in mind, there's a certain character. Every time you play an event, draw a card. You're gonna be running heavy events. You're gonna go heavy intrigue. It's a lot of moving parts. It's wheels within wheels. It's gonna be strong. And this event, maybe you only play 1. You probably will want to play 2 to see it. It's gonna be good. Now, moving on to melee, there's always that one person at your table who didn't come prepared well, either didn't draw good cards, they're top decking the whole game, and this is gonna get you drawing 4 cards for next round. It's gonna be a solid melee card too.
Sure. I like it fine, but I don't know. I'm gonna give it a 2.5.
I'm gonna give it a 4. I really like it. I think the one thing that really bums me out is I feel like this art should have been on the Game of Thrones plot, and they should have used that corset art on something else.
Sure. Up next, speaking of events, we have another one, Lannister event. 1 cost, not loyal. It's called Daring Rescue. Says play only if you control a knight character, and has the challenges action. Return a character you control to its owner's hand, then have a knight character you control to gain 1 power.
Valor. This is for when Valor's out and you don't want one of your strong characters to die.
Well, you would need a. Okay, so you do it before you
do it the turn before it. Either you're going to play Valor. That's most likely what's
yeah.
going to happen. Is you're going to play your Valor.
Right.
You rescue that person from your Valor. The 1 power thing is pretty much whatever. It's like, oh, that's a little.
It's cute.
Yeah. It's like they're gaining renown, essentially. Like, ooh, they just did something great, a great feat. Here's a power.
Yeah, I think it's a fun card. One consideration to make is with the new Lanny Harrenhal that's coming out, you can put a character into play for free and bypass Harrenhal's downside, which is killing the character cannot be saved with this card. So you can bounce it back to your hand. Also, if you let's say you are on the other side of a big military challenge and you just feel an ice or a bit of the sword coming or something like that, you can save your juicy character by playing this card. Or if your character already has been tiersed, has a tiers a token on it already, whatever, bounce it back to your hand, it's fine. It's going to be a lot of fun to play with. I think it's a really, actually good card.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 3.5. It's going to be good. People are going to be bannering into Lannister or vice versa when they're making their night decks, and this will slot in. I'm going to go with 3.5.
Right there with you, 3.5.
All right, we're out of the Lannister woods here. We're moving on to Baratheon.
Oh, thank God.
We have Edric Storm. He's a unique Baratheon character. He's 2 cost, 2 strength, a power icon only, bastard traded, and he has a reaction. After the dominance phase begins, choose a character. That character does not contribute its strength to its controller's total for dominance this phase.
He's good. Really good in the
dominance deck.
Yeah, in the right Baratheon deck.
Yeah.
You know, if you got Gendry going, you got the armory, you got the painted table.
You got Stannis out. Who cares if he's healing? He's still gonna trigger that
doesn't
ability.
Matter. It doesn't matter anymore. Who cares? Yeah, I mean, I find that deck to be really native once they get their stuff going, or MPE to play against.
Yeah.
But, he's a good chud. He's not going to be winning a lot of challenges on his own, but, in that deck, he's a good card.
3. He's just a guy. You play one of him.
3. All right, moving right along to our other Baratheon card here. Disputed Claim is a non-unique Baratheon attachment. Costs 1. Has a condition trait, and it says Bastard, Lord, or Lady character only. And while you have more power on your faction card than each opponent, attached character gets +2 strength and gains renown. Ryan?
Really good. You're winning. Time to win more. Think about that Lannister, that attachment that's unique, that costed 3 gold and had all the stipulation to get +2 in renown. This only has 1 stipulation. You have to be winning, or at least have more power in your faction card, which Baratheon can do. Getting renown is huge, and Bastard, Lord, or Lady, that's tons of traits. That's even your 2-cost non-unique character. This can go on. It's solid.
I think it's fine.
It's 1 cost, non-terminal.
Yeah, no, I think it's fine. I think cheap renown is good, and this isn't like a guarantee that you're going to get the renown. It's kind of, it's basically a win more card, and that's why I can't give it a super high rating, because if you have more power on your faction card than your opponent, do you really need this to close out? I don't know. But...
yes, because in a close game, this wins you the entire game. You're battling neck and neck. Powers are similar. Maybe you're tied. They're 1 power ahead of you. You do a power challenge. Maybe you get 1 power unopposed. Well, now I have 1 more power than you. Now let's move on to keywords. I got renown. It can trigger.
We'll see.
Pretty easy.
We'll see. I'm gonna give it 2.5.
I'm gonna give it a 4. It's a really solid attachment for me.
All right.
Big Papa. We have Victarion Greyjoy. Finally, he's a unique Greyjoy character. 6 cost, military and power icon, 5 strength. He has a captain, Ironborn, and Lord traded. It has Intimidate and Renown.
Hits keep coming.
And he has an in or out. When Victarion Greyjoy would be killed, discard 2 power from him to save him. Yeah. Greyjoy did not need this, especially when Valor is right around the corner.
This is fucking incredible. Sorry.
Yeah.
Maybe you can beep that out, but yeah, this is really, really, really good. This is just gonna complement everything Greyjoy does really well. Gonna fit right in there with Balon and Euron and all those good old boys. This is gonna be like a cornerstone of Greyjoy forever? Question mark.
I think he is actually better. As crazy as it sounds, I never thought I'd say this. He is better than Balon Greyjoy. I think, especially when Valor is coming on. You can offensive Valor is a thing, and he loves it.
Yeah. Yeah. Self-saving is just incredible, and those two keywords. Oh man.
Yeah.
Ironborn and Lord. I mean,
his Ironborn traded.
There's no downside.
Because you look at things like Edmure, and they're like, yeah, he's really good. So let's take away that Lord trait. But this guy's just like, screw it, I'm keeping that Lord trait. Yeah, I am good. Yeah. 5. His quote is freaking perfect. Come kill me if you can. I love this card.
This is the most confident 5 I think I've ever given. He is so good. He's gonna annoy the crap out of people. All right. Moving right along to a Greyjoy location called Old Wick. It's unique, 2 cost, not loyal, Iron Island's trait, and reaction. Oh boy. After you initiate a power challenge, kneel Old Wick to put the top drowned god character in your dead pile into play knelt, participating as an attacker. If you win the challenge by 5 or more strength, return that character to your hand. Otherwise, place it on the bottom of your deck. Period.
This is such a wait and see card. It's like the Jaime that we saw. This one's closer to becoming a thing than Jaime was. This is good for after Valor. Like you're starting to cycle in your chuds, like the 3 cost drowned god priest guy.
Okay, yeah.
Like that's a guy that actually dies for Valor that you're probably not going to save.
In my Greyjoy deck right now, I'm not really playing those characters.
Exactly. Yes.
So it's like
this is for that type of deck.
Yeah.
This is the Clansman card for them.
This could make more of a drowned god kind of deck, or at least it's the start of one.
Yes.
But right now, no, it's not sliding in my Greyjoy deck. It's interesting and kind of weird, but I don't think it's very good right now. I'm gonna go with 2.5.
2 for me.
Okay.
Don't play Fisherman. All right, moving on to Martell. We have a unique character, Tristane Martell. He's a lord. He's cost 4 gold. He has intrigue and power icon, 4 strength. He's non-loyal. He has a reaction. After you lose a challenge in which Tristane Martell participated, choose a character with lower strength than him. Until the end of the phase, the chosen character cannot be declared as a defender. Yeah.
No. It's just like, I get it. It's like what the who's the guy? Who's the guy that makes the strength?
I'm already looking at the next card. What?
Who's the guy that gives the strength to the lords and the ladies?
Doran.
Yeah, Doran. Yeah. That's what this is trying to do, and maybe it's like built for that. But no, like it's too clunky, right? Like I just don't see this being useful.
No, you don't play him. Think about who he's competing with. A guy who's a Tricon on defense, a guy that has renown in the last 3 plots of your game. Sorry, and those non-unique characters beat out this guy. This guy is... You might run one. No, he's bad. He is a waste of a card design, in my opinion.
Well, 4 for 4 is not bad. He's got decent icons. But yeah, I just don't think that reaction is very useful or good. Unless you're trying to build that deck that I was talking about, but I don't think that deck is there or a thing, really. So, yeah, I'm going to have to pass. I'm going to give him a 2.
1.5 for me. That art really like makes me like not like it. It's just like I don't like it at all. It upsets me. Let's move on.
It upsets you. Okay, well, interesting. Moving right along, we have a Martell event. You murdered her children, Ryan.
This better be great with that quote.
Yeah. It's 2 gold, non-loyal, and has challenges action. Choose a Martell character you control until the end of the phase. The chosen character's strength is doubled. At the end of the phase, if the chosen character is still in play, kill that character.
Yeah, I'm gonna put all my eggs in the basket and play the Red Viper, which I shouldn't be playing, and try to double his strength and win the game and hope I do, otherwise he's dead. Bad card. Again, this is deadliness and theme over practicality. It's not a good card. There's no room for this. You're playing 10,000 better events. I'd rather look at your hand and discard a card. Tears of Liz, Vengeance? I mean, come on. What is this?
I have to agree with you, Ryan. I'm sorry. I mean, it's
The art's a lot better. Remember the 1.0 You Murdered Her Children art, where it's like the samurai Red Viper. This is the art's good.
Yeah, it's overpriced and just doesn't do enough. It's really not great.
And that sword looks like I take it back. That sword is way too small to be the mountains. I'm looking at it no.
Like, why doesn't the character get renowned too or something? Like, just come on, just spice it up a little bit.
And the character you're playing this on doesn't have renown, so it works.
That's weird.
It's just
all right.
Screw you. One. I don't like this. I get like. I hate how unbalanced it is. Like, here you go. Here's 2 crappy Martell cards. Like, just spread the love a little bit better.
One. Sorry, Martell. Not sorry.
All right. Next we have a unique Night's Watch character. Sweet Donnel Hill.
Sweet Donnel.
2 gold, intrigue icon, 2 strength. He's a bastard and a steward. No attachments except weapon. That's interesting. Well, sweet Donnel Hill is defending. Each attaching character loses all keywords.
He'd be a lot better if it wasn't an intrigue icon.
Yeah, he needs too many pieces. I still think you play one of him. You play one of him right now, but he needs like a sword, a practice blade to get better.
But then that's how often is that going to happen? And you're not building around that to happen either.
And
so.
like, what are the intrigue keywords? There's not that many intrigues renowned. There's a couple intrigue renowns, but it's just.
I mean, he does combo with a guy that gives out military icons, I guess, but he hasn't been really played that much either. So you know what I'm talking about, the guy.
Yep. Oh. Yeah.
But still, it's not more within one of even with that guy.
Again, I don't know. Like, this is like, okay, so the last card we just went on, that Martell event, there's too much theme and not enough gameplay execution. This card is the complete opposite. This guy you could do so much fun things with this guy. He's a guy who John ordered to like shoot Mance, to be like, quote Mance. So it's like you could do something really fun, like where one of your characters are dying, he like gains like power or something. So like,
yeah,
he could, and I think he's one of the people that was one of the main people that like was conspiring to betray Old Bear. It's just, this is a lot like what's his name, the Raven Direwolf steward intrigue guy with the lantern.
Chella.
No.
Sorry, Chella. God, I see the face.
I know. It's like one of the only like 3 cards
It's
in
a
the game
weird
with
name
Direwolf
like that.
in his text.
It's a weird name.
I should know him because he's the main conspirator.
Sorry, guys.
I'm looking him up right now. I should know his name too. Chet.
See, it's a weird Chella. Chet. Yeah.
Like, him and Chet are like, I think he ends up being good with John. I don't know. Anyway, he's just like, I'm a steward, so I just have an intrigue icon.
Yeah.
This card seems lazy. I'm gonna give it a 2.
2. Sorry, Joe. All right.
He is sweet though.
He's a sweet man. that Donnel Hill. Up next, we have another Night's Watch card. It's a location, unique, Bridge of Skulls. Badass name, I'll say.
Yeah.
1 cost, not loyal, and the North traded. A lot of those, actually.
Yep.
Has an interrupt. When the challenges phase ends, interesting, choose an opponent who did not initiate a military challenge against you this phase. That player discards 1 card at random from his or her hand.
It's like FFG was just listening to me. This card now is a perfect blending of theme and gameplay. It was where Mance basically sent like a distraction force while he was attacking the main wall. So there's like, it's like this really cool epic battle that you never got to see what happened, because like both sides lost tons of forces. So you like imagine 2 like huge armies on this skinny little bridge fighting, like everyone's dying. And it fits the card perfectly, because it's like, you better come deal with my distraction, otherwise you're gonna start losing cards out of your hand. You better be doing a military challenge, you better be coming here. And it's a useful one-of location.
Is it?
And it fits the theme.
Is it?
It's a good one-of, yeah. Yeah.
Let's
If they don't do an initiative military challenge against you, they discard 1 card from your hand. If you don't do a military...
Oh, but why wouldn't you?
Because I could play 1 cost and kneel 2 rangers and kill all your military strength.
Yeah, but...
So you could be afraid of that event.
So do a choke challenge. Who cares?
You could, but then you win that challenge and the wall stays up.
Okay, you play around Watchers on the Wall anyways.
I know, but I'm just saying this
doesn't change a whole lot.
It does, because it means you have to do a military, otherwise I'm picking cards out of your hand.
It's not that big of a deal. It's like, okay, either
It's at random. So it's getting an additional intrigue challenge.
This doesn't do enough for me. I want to like it a lot more than I do. I love the art. I love the idea of it. But I think you can...
And it's also a holder card. You have these locations. They're not amazing, but they're multi-purpose locations. It's a cheap location that's going to give, like, the just spoiled Night's Watch builder. It's another location out, so you can quickly get out those 3 locations to make some of your characters Tricons. It's a free card you play with the builder guy that you have out. It's a free location.
I don't know if this makes the cut. Because either they're going to chut challenge you, they're going to win handedly, and you don't have the card in your hand to do anything about it, the Watchers on the Wall, or they're just going to play around Watchers on the Wall with characters with dupes, and this doesn't do much for me. I disagree that it's good.
One more thing to think about too is throwing Smallwood. It could force you into a challenge you don't really want to do, and say you can't win the military challenge, and they can defend it, and he can get their faction in power. So that's one decent thing this location can do.
Sure. I'm gonna give it 1.5.
I'm gonna give it... You convinced me a little bit. I was gonna give it a 3.5. I'm gonna give it a 3. I still like it.
Okay, fair enough. All right.
All right, moving on to Jane Westerling.
She looks familiar.
Yes. We're going to quickly go over the next 2 cards. We have a whole video dedicated to these 2. Yeah, link will be in the description.
Annotation, something.
Watch it at the end of the video, but we're going to quickly go through these. Jane Westerling, she's a unique Lady Queen, Stark character, 3 gold, intrigue, power icon, 1 strength, and she has an action. Kneel Jane Westerling to choose and stand a Stark King or Lord character, and just to be clear, the Lord also has to be a Stark. It can't.
Yep.
It's not just any Lord.
Again, we're going to keep this brief because we spent 20-30 minutes on these cards before just by themselves. She's very good. Great utility. Stands Ned, Rob, like Blackfish, like speeds up all your renowned characters. Turns on the Blackfish faster. Gives you challenge flexibility. God forbid you use her and then trigger Rob and then use her again. It's just like it can get real nasty. She's like Seal the Hand, but better as a character.
Yeah, she's a really good like Seal the Hand claim soak. You pretty much said it all. I love the art. It's an auto one of using Eddard twice. Ugh, that's gross.
Good icons. Yeah.
Yep.
4.
I will give her a 4 as well.
All right. Moving right along, we have our second star card. It's a non-unique star character, Last Hearth Scouts. It's a 4-cost character with a military and power icon, 4 strength, good stats there, House Umber trait, and has a force reaction. After a character enters play during the challenges phase, kneel that character.
Stark's been waiting for this icon spread and this cost. If you haven't gently pushed Jory out the door, you're going to be booting him out the door for this card. It's a good card. It's anti-Klansman, anti-ambush, hurts Martell. It's a meta call. I think you play 1 though.
Yeah, as I mentioned in our Jane Westerling spoiler video that we did, Stark has been waiting for this pairing of icons and at this cost slot for a while in a non-unique form. And having 4 strength like that is just a good little combo. Because the army we get out of the core, which is the mono icon, the quasi non-kneeler garbage card. This card is really solid. Lannister will hate it. And other factions as well that can put characters in play during challenges will hate it as well. Good card. You probably just play 1 though. I'm gonna give it a 3.5.
3.5 for me too. I think he just replaces Jory. God, I'm gonna be so fucking brutal with this card. I hate this card. All right. Sir Barristan Selmy. He's a Targaryen 5-cost character. Military and with a power icon, 4 strength. He's a knight. He has no keywords. Reaction: after you win a challenge in which Sir Barristan Selmy is participating, if you have fewer cards in hand than the losing opponent, stand him. Whoop-de freaking do.
Whoa, wait, Ryan. I'm the guy who gives the comment after reading the card. So, do me a favor real quick. Aside from Magister Illyrio.
Magister Illyrio, yeah.
He's 5-cost, right? How many other 5-costers are you running if you're not doing the Blood Riders things in Targ right now? What's the competition?
There's none.
Really?
No.
Well, maybe Sirio, Littlefinger.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant in-house.
I did, but there's no other...
No, because you're running the Blood Riders.
No, I'm saying if you're not doing those.
If you're not, then your deck's bad.
Really?
Yeah.
If you're just doing dragons and
with First Snow being out right now, no, you can't do the dragon. You can't be like, I'm only doing a dragon deck.
Anyway, I just wanted to kind of... Because I don't really play Target that much, so I just want to get an idea of what he's competing with. He's bland, though. He's really bland.
This card makes me so angry. They picked the worst Barristan Selmy out. They're using 1.0 art finally again. They picked the worst art he has.
Okay, art shouldn't be a thing.
No. But I'm just starting small.
Okay.
He has no keywords. He does not have renown. This isn't Whitebeard. This isn't when he's on. This is Sir Barristan Selmy. This is when he's with her. He's revealed his identity. He doesn't even have his beard, so he for sure is that Barristan Selmy. He stand a character with blah icons and does nothing. What a freaking waste of an amazing character in the books, and he is just so freaking boring. It really infuriates me that he's just an afterthought. He needed a keyword. Insight, maybe? He's advising her. He needed...
Or a Tricon.
Yeah.
Right? He has insight.
Or Queen's Guard. King's Guard. It's like... It's just so many missed opportunities. I'm going to give this guy a 1. It makes me so mad. I don't like him.
Okay, I understand the thematic reasons and stuff like that, but there's like...
What's the benefit of standing him?
Standing is good.
It is.
I'm not saying he's good. Standing is good, though.
You have to have fewer cards. You have to
I know.
you have to hope your
That's
opponent's
what makes
doing
him bad.
better.
If it was just a trigger, you do whatever. Yeah, that'd be great. But okay, not good. Not the worst card ever. 2 for me.
All right, that puts him at a 3.
You sound really disappointed.
Yeah, I don't like him.
All right.
It really.
I think I got it. I got it. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Up next, we have Daenerys' Favor. It's a non-unique Targaryen attachment, 2-cost, not loyal, condition attachment. Targaryen character only. While attached characters participating in a challenge, each other participating character gets -1 strength.
Not great, but interesting. It tickles you a little bit in the burn part of your brain, makes you think, can I start playing the burn? It's better than Dragon Sight, where you play that event that one time and it's like everyone's -1. This doesn't hit. Oh well, no, it hits every character, even you. It just doesn't hit the character that's on it.
That's what makes this not very good.
Yeah. It helps your burn though. It makes people a little more frightened to throw in there.
I'm not feeling the burn here.
I'm not either.
Yeah. Well, I think it's too expensive for what it's doing, and the fact that it's your own, it kind of sucks.
But I think the fact that it's 2 means we're probably gonna get a lot more burn coming in the future, and it's like if this is 1, you'd be like, oh, why is this 1? So it's like,
sure.
But yeah, let's move on. All right, moving on to Tyrell. We have Illyri Tyrell. She must have lost 0 battles because her braid's really long.
She's the true blood rider.
She's
look at that fucking cake! Holy crap! That's a serious cake, dude.
It looks like she's balancing it on her arm too, on the top part of her arm.
Long may she reign.
All right, she's an intrigue icon and a power icon. 3 strength. She's House Hightower lady. What?
What is that?
Yeah, it's a house.
Okay.
It's a house. The Lord Commander from before Barristan Selmy was House Hightower.
Cool.
Reaction. After Illyri Tyrell enters play, search the top 10 cards of your deck for a Tyrell character with printing cost 3 or lower. Reveal it and add it to your hand. Shuffle your deck.
Really, 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 really good.
Marjorie, please.
That's pretty much what this card is Find Marjorie card. She's a really good one of. Dodges first no, good icons. Freaking lady trait. Thank you.
Yep.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
It's really taken this long to get a lady with all those lady cards. Oh.
Yep.
My God.
She can have Lady in Waiting. You could think about playing that card.
Lady Sansa's Rose, right?
Yeah. You don't have to ban her. Maybe. You still need one more.
Come on.
You need one more lady.
Why did it take this long? I'm angry now.
Yeah.
No, but this is like a. Just for playing her, it's like a mini summons. You don't play more than one, right? Because you want to get that trigger. You don't want her on setup. And just as a cute little aside, makes left and right better.
Yeah.
So you can find them. Yeah, she's really good. I'm gonna give her a 4.
Yeah, she's a circus of value. I really like her.
Yeah.
I would give her. I'm gonna go with a 4. Solid.
Yep.
Welcome to the circus of value.
Up next, we have a Tyrell event called The Golden Rose. It's a song event. I like the song art. I like that they're doing that still. It's cool. Again, 1 cost, Tyrell event, non-loyal. Challenges action, which is an interesting part of this card. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 card to your hand, and then place the remaining cards on the bottom of your deck in any order. Ryan?
I thought we had this. It was like
Yeah, what was it called?
Bear in the Maiden Fair?
No. It was Gift of Barbara Red, or?
I don't know. What a waste of card designs to make 3 cards so similar. You could do so much more fun things with Tyrell. This has my faith shaken a little bit. Maybe they're running out of ideas.
Well, here's okay. You can have those effects and have them be similar, but make them different card types. Make the triggering conditions different. Like, make it interesting.
It's a challenges trigger. Like, what?
Well, I'm saying don't make them all events. Like, make one a part of a character, make one a part of a location. Mix it up some. Like, like you said, we're basically getting the same event 3 times in a row now.
My spidey sense is tingling that they're gonna make maybe a Tyrell or just an agenda that triggers off of songs and does stuff with songs. Maybe that's why they're pumping out some song cards here.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna give this a 2.5. You play Tyrell more than me. If you're playing those events, which one do you run? You run 0 right now, right?
Yeah.
You don't run any of those.
Yeah. I think this is probably the best of those events, but
the challenges part is what makes me wavers me on that.
I mean, this is like it's like just better card quality is what you're getting out of this. Instead of just top decking, you're just like, oh, let me just get the best card out of these 3 and get rid of the rest, which is good. But it's like, okay, then you have to find room for your in your deck for this, which in a way does make your deck more potent because you're basically making a 58 or 57 card deck if you're including these cards. At the same time, I don't know, like, other cards are good too, like other events are good, so it's like,
because it's interesting because it immediately replaces itself, so you get something you want. But Bear the Maiden Fair is like, you wait till you draw to do that, but this is a challenges action, so that negates that whole point. So it just makes Bear the Maiden Fair better. It's 0, you play it before the draw phase, before you draw your 2 cards, so it's like, not unless you're drawing like an event that's gonna help you during challenges. I don't like it. I'm gonna go 2.5.
Sure, 2.5. Hopefully they do stuff with the songs in the future.
All right, next we're moving on to neutrals. We have the High Septon. He's a unique 6-cost neutral character. Intrigue and power icon, 5 strength. He has the 7 trait, and he has an interrupt. When an opponent chooses a character control as the only target of a triggered ability, choose an eligible the 7 character you control to become the target of that triggered ability instead. Limit once per phase.
He's interesting. I don't think he's a thing yet. Could be a thing, maybe. But he's really expensive. He's 6 neutral and not a lord. Ouch, that's a bitter pill to swallow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of what's keeping me away from this right now. What do you think? No keywords either.
No. He's a deck type that's not there yet. He doesn't interact with Cat really because he can protect anyone. He can bring it back on himself, but you're paying 6 gold to protect your probably 6 or 7 cost character from something nasty.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give him a 3. We're gonna kind of like move right into another card that will kind of go with him, but I'm gonna give him a 3.
2.5 for now. It might be a thing someday, but not yet.
Agree.
Okay. Up next, we have a non-unique neutral character, Devout Freeholder. 3 cost, military power icon, 3 strength, a lot of traits, ally, mercenary, and the 7, which we were just discussing. And says during the challenges phase, each player cannot gain gold.
I'm not sure what to think about this card. It's anti-Tyrion. I feel like maybe this card was made way back in the time when people were whining about Tyrion, and then it's like now it's finally catching up. It's good cost, icon, strength ratio.
Yeah.
It has the 7 trait and the mercenary trait. I feel like those were just kind of thrown in to make it maybe boost maybe mercenary and 7 decks later. It's their like chud. It's interesting. You don't play this at all right now. There might be a house or 2 where this is better than their 3-cost character, but usually a 3-cost character in someone's deck has a good ability.
Yeah, usually, just because we're in a first snow meta right now, you want to try to limit your 3 costs as much as possible. I mean, my Stark deck has a lot of 3-cost characters, but that's only because it's like they're good, and I want to play those characters.
And they help other characters.
Yeah, whereas this is just kind of a guy who maybe can help you in some matchups. Yeah, you don't. Yeah, I just don't see it right now. I mean, otherwise he's got a good good body like you mentioned, and The 7 could be a thing, although the ally trait is bad. So
This would be the card if you're using the High Septon to be like, all right, you're gonna put to the sword my Devout Freeholder
yeah,
now.
but you're not making that deck right
No,
now.
no.
2.
2. 2. All right, I like the looks of this guy. A Wildling Bandit. 2 gold, military intrigue, 1 strength. While Wildling Bandit is attacking an opponent with more gold in his or her gold pool than you, it gets +2 strength.
It's good. Although I don't think you played outside of Wildling deck. Certainly not in a deck without Mance. But yeah, efficient, and it's nice to have a Wildling with 2 icons and one especially that can get bigger. Yeah.
It's the chud for the Wildling deck that you're going to build down the road.
Yep.
I would give him a 3 for that deck. That's going to come.
Because it's so limited in scope and so specific, I'll go 2.5, but it is a fine card for that deck. And up next, we have a neutral location. It's non-unique. It's called Ocean Road. 0 cost, Westeros traits, and limited. There's an explanation there if you need that. Marshalling action, kneel Ocean Road to reduce the cost of the next neutral or out-of-faction card you marshal this phase by 1.
This, I don't even know if I can rate this card. It's hard to rate just economy cards like this. It's for the Wildling deck that you're gonna build someday, and you can build your main house. You don't really care what it is. You banner into something. You're playing more of the banner cards in the main house. You're running Wildlings. Then you play this card. That's it. Maybe, and you could change out me saying Wildling with mercenaries or companions or whatever. Maybe it comes out in the future and a whole bunch of neutral maesters. Who knows? I don't know. You rate this card. You talk about this card. I don't know what I can rate this card yet, because it's for a specific deck.
Yeah.
And it's just a reducer, just like everyone else has.
Yeah,
So-
because it's so like situational just for the type of deck that you build. I'm just gonna go middle of the road and say 2.5. I mean, sure, if it fits the right deck and you have more neutrals or out of faction cards, it's as good as an in faction reducer location where you put it in play, kneel it, boom, there's your economy. 0, it's not bad in the right deck. It's great. So
middle of the road sounds good. I'll say 2.5 as well.
okay, yeah, not much else to say about that one.
Up next, we have Appointed. It's a 1 gold attachment. It's title traded. It's unique. Attached character gains an intrigue icon and the small council trait.
So pretty much an upgraded version of Little Bird with just the unique character only stipulation. Like it's really hard to like judge the small council stuff because it's just not there quite yet. And just gaining an intrigue icon isn't a whole lot of bang for your buck when like in my experience at least. I don't know if you still run Little Birds, but I've pretty much stopped entirely.
Yep.
You just don't get a lot out of them, even in like decks like Stark and Tyrell. It's just like they're just gone. Like they just don't get enough value out of that card. Even though it can save you from tears and stuff like that, it just doesn't do enough for you. So this is pretty much almost a reprint, just with a couple of little tweaks. It's interesting. Could have more things to do down the road, but yeah, for now it's just kind of whatever.
It's going to be freaking great when we know what the small council deck is, what it can do, what the agenda is. It's going to be really good to give someone that trait. Like, it's a fact that that's going to be a good thing for them to just give anyone you want that trait. Right now, it's just a 2.5. Actually, I'm going to go lower.
Yeah.
It's a 1.5, and that's not because it's a horrible card. It's just there's no deck this goes in right now until the deck is out. It's almost as if it's like, where do we put these the 7 small council wildling cards that we're gonna get to eventually? Well, let's just throw them in the Lannister box so they don't go away.
Now that I think about it, with like the Kingsguard, like the Jaime stuff, the small council, the wildling stuff, there's like a lot of building up of all these different things that just aren't there yet, and it's kind of disappointing.
It could be as simple as we don't want these cards to rotate out, and there's gonna be no room for them in the future, so let's put them in.
I know. I'm
this
just
box.
bummed that I can't use a lot of these cards.
Yes.
2 for me.
All right.
So that's that. Moving right along, we have a neutral event called the Council Consents. It's 1 cost, has a small council trait. There you go. Has reaction after a player wins an intrigue challenge by 5 or more strength. That's attacking or defending. Stand each small council character.
That's really good. Again, it's not playable right now. It's going to be really good. There's a few small council characters out right now.
Yeah.
You're not going to play it though. There's no room for this. It's going to be good though. That's a really good. I'm going to stand expensive dudes and anyone I throw that attachment on. And that character you throw the attachment on gains an intrigue icon, so it's going to help you trigger this.
Yeah.
I like the art. It's a fun idea. I like the trait
It's got potential.
I like the trait on the event because small council traded events was a thing in 1.0. There was a Joffrey that was really ridiculous that triggered off small council events. I like it.
It's going to be in the binder for a while, though.
Oh, a good while. I'm going to give it a 2.
2? Unfortunately.
It is unfortunate, yeah.
All right, Ryan, you got it. Big boy.
Oh, yeah. Next, we're moving on to a new agenda. This is exciting. The Reigns of Castamere. It's a song, and it says your plot deck must be 12 cards, including exactly 5 different scheme cards. During the plot phase, scheme cards are not considered to be in your plot deck. Reaction. After you win an intrigue challenge by 5 or more strength, kneel your faction card to reveal a scheme plot. If that card leaves play, remove it from the game. And the card was designed by 2013 Joust World Champion Alvaro Rodriguez.
And he's a really cool guy.
Very cool.
Yeah.
He's a huge Lannister player too.
This agenda is a lot of fun. I mean, just by reading it, you want to just make this deck, right?
Yep.
And
it's exciting. I haven't been this excited in a good while.
Even though it's called the Reigns of Castamere, you can use this with any faction. So it's gonna be interesting to see how those factions pan out with this agenda, and see what factions can do with this thing. It's gonna be a lot of fun to mess with, because the reaction is right there sitting on your card. Your opponent can do their best to play around it, but the fact that it also triggers on defense as well as offense makes this not too hard to trigger. It's just gonna be a really fun agenda. I think it's gonna have really devastating potential.
Wildfire and Trial by Combat is something that really pops my mind, where you get them down to 3 characters with your surprise Wildfire, and then change that intrigue claim into a military claim, and then maybe do your military followed by a march next turn.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna have a really high power level, but at the same time, it can also just bite the dust. If you can't really win those intrigue challenges, then your plot selection is basically limited, and you can't access your wildfire very easily and stuff like that. So it'll be a fun agenda to play around with. Something to also note is that Stark really messes with this thing.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Between Callan and Winterfell. That's...
in my current version right now, I am playing 2 winter plots, mostly 4 Stark, because when you face them, it can be devastating to be like, sorry, your entire deck doesn't work just because I drew that location.
Yeah.
It's I don't think that should have been a reaction. I think this should have just triggered on its own. So let's go through some of the schemes right now. What schemes are you thinking about running? So like Game of Thrones, that could be a good one because you are just surprising your opponent now. You just won an intrigue challenge. Now your opponent has to win an intrigue challenge, otherwise they're done. And intrigue's your strongest icon in this deck.
I don't know if that makes the kind of
it shuts down your opponent's entire turn, possibly. And the best part is it's a toolbox, so it's not like you have to pick Game of Thrones. You bring it out when it's gonna shut down your opponent. So that's one interesting. Filthy is auto include. Yeah. That is one of yours for sure. Forgotten Plans, it's interesting. I don't know if there's room for that. It could shut down a Rise of the Kraken or something insane. Gossip and Lies, we'll get to that plot. Unfortunately, it's the kind of what you'd want in your plot deck, not in your scheme deck. Littlefinger's Madeline, that's an interesting one. We were talking about that earlier, how you can bring your event cost down. Yeah. Flipping that surprising plot to your opponent, and then playing things like Lannister Always Pays its debts, that can be huge, having that event cost 1. A few other things too, like we could think of Trial by Combat, that's free with that. Power Behind the Throne, that's an interesting one. It's not quite filthy level, but standing a character can be huge. Pulling the Strings, you play that, right? If you're playing the Tyrell, because then you copy their summons or building orders or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
It's interesting. Sneak attack.
Not a big fan.
No. Sneak attack means the way that works is that its attack still applies. That one entry challenge you just won is your one challenge you can do. But you can make it claim too. So theoretically, if your opponent's board's light, you could flip that and then do a trial by combat. But I think that's really situational. King's Peace, Baratheon's never going to play this, at least for a good while, so forget that. Long plan, no, you don't play long plan, unfortunately. So that means if you're playing Reigns of Castamere, Martell, you don't play long plan, I think. Varys' Riddle, I think that's a good one to have in there.
Yeah.
It's to duplicate your opponent. It's like when you don't have access to pulling the strings, that's your version of pulling the strings. Wardens of the West, now that's a really interesting one. That's going to make that Lannister discard their whole hand deck interesting. You can wipe out someone's entire hand that turn with this and Tyrion out.
Yep. And then the last one, the big one is Wildfire.
Best
right?
for last.
Wildfire. I think the big ones for me overall is Wildfire, Filthy, and what do you think?
If you're playing Lannister, it's Wardens. You need to play that Wardens.
Yeah.
Maybe Power Behind the Throne, Littlefinger's Meddling, and Forgotten Plans and Game of Thrones. Those 4 plots all kind of depend on what your deck's doing. You can all weave between those. But the thing I like about this is it's just exciting and fun.
Yep.
Fun is the key word with this card. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5.
Same here. All right, and up next we're moving to plots, finally. We have a Lannister plot. Why not? It's called Lions of the Rock. It is loyal. Has 4 gold, 4 initiative, 1 claim, 6 reserve. Has a kingdom trait. Has reaction after the challenges phase begins. Gain 3 gold. What do you think?
It's good. You can't fit it in your deck. Your plot deck right now, I think, in Lannister. But if you're playing Reigns of Castamere, I think you can fit this in your deck. That's when you start considering this plot. Has really good reserve. It gets you 3 gold, but it's late 3 gold. But say you play at the round that you don't necessarily need the gold for challenges. Maybe you have that Never Bet Against My Family in your hand and you want that money for the challenges.
Yeah.
Makes Tywin stronger. It's solid. It's good, not great.
You with gold you normally want it for marshalling though, right?
Yes.
So if you want a plot that gives you a lot of gold, I don't think you're really looking at this. I think you're looking at, trading, a noble cause, calling the banners. There's other options out there that just give you straight up gold, no strings attached.
Well, there's a lot of strings attached. You can get 9 gold, but then you can only get martial characters. You can get 10 gold, but they get 3 gold as well. There's strings attached. You can get 7 gold. Well, the 2 of that gold has to be spent on a lord or lady. So there's all these strings attached to those things, where the string for this one is you're only getting that gold during challenges.
Yeah.
But I think later in the game, that's when you're spending most of your gold when your Lannister is in challenges with those pricey events.
I don't know, man. 7 plots, this is going to be hard to make the cut.
True. Like I said, I think you're considering this plot if you're playing Reigns of Castamere and you have things like Wildfire in your scheme deck now and you're starting to open up slots by playing your scheme.
I agree that it could fit in that deck, but in a normal Annie deck, not Reigns, I don't know.
3.5 for me.
2.
This one is interesting. Unexpected Delay. It's 3 gold, 1 initiative, 1 claim, and 6 reserve. It's the first House Frey traded. Oh, there's the agenda. But first House Frey traded plot is a forced reaction. After the challenges phase begins, each player chooses a character without attachments or power. Return each of those characters to its owner's hand.
I really like this plot. I think it's really interesting. This is like my kind of plot where you're kind of like this is the feelings plot should have, where you're kind of scheming and kind of working your way towards using some kind of nasty effect without your opponent's knowledge, kind of maneuvering your characters and putting attachments on them or power on them to kind of save them from this effect, or removing those kind of things from your opponents to kind of nail them with this, right? It reminds me of the Search and Detain plot or Red Wedding from first edition, which were really 2 kind of sneaky plots that could really mess up your opponent's board pretty well. I really like it. It's got bad stats, no doubt about it.
I'm glad the reserve is 6. They could have been jerks and made it 4 or 5.
Yeah.
I like that 6.
But this can be pretty potent under the right circumstances.
Oh yeah, Miriam Azdur over there. Oh, well, I have like a Tywin with a renown on him. Let's choose characters and see who loses this battle. There's certain it's very situational, but they've been really interesting if this was one revealed and was Scheme. If that would be like maybe too good if this could have been in Reigns of Castamere. But it's interesting.
This goes back to what we were talking about with Reigns, where it's like Reigns is a agenda that makes you want to build a deck.
Yep.
This is a plot where I'm like, I want to play this plot. I want to get my hands all over this thing. I want to catch people off guard. I want to have fun with this.
And think about this thing with things like Lady and Stark, where you're just like,
yep.
Oh, my Catelyn's vulnerable. Let me pop that Lady over to off my Arya and onto my Catelyn. You can send my Arya back. I'll choose a different character.
I think it's gonna be really good in Stark just because they have a lot of attachments and a lot of renown.
The one thing I'm weary about this with players is I think some people are either gonna wait too long or jump the gun on it. There's gonna be this like window, and you have to play around to get that window to work, because there's gonna be some times when their good character hits the table, you have to put all stops to it to make sure that character didn't get a renown that turn.
Yeah.
Just so you can just completely go, you put that 7-cost character back in your hand.
Yeah. I mean, you're not playing this for the stats. It's got bad stats. It's not helping you out in that department at all. So ideally, this is going to be a mid-game or late-game plot.
It's a great Lannister plot. It's low gold. Lannister has more ways of getting gold than other people. And then you're going to intrigue that card out of their hand because it's during the challenges phase. Again, fueling that Cersei. There's a lot of cards in here that are supporting that Cersei.
Yep.
Giving it high praise, but I'm going to give it a 3.5 because it's a pro player card. You need to know your windows. You need to build around it. You need to not shoot yourself in the foot.
Yep. 4.5 for me, just because it's a lot of fun. I know it has bad stats, but I feel like this has a lot of power to it in the right hands.
I'm sure the next plot will be just as good.
Undoubtedly. All right, and up next we have another plot called Summoned to Court. It's got 5 gold, 2 initiative, 1 claim, and 6 reserve, edict and kingdom traits, and has a forced interrupt. When the draw phase ends, each player chooses a card in his or her hand if able. Then reveal the chosen cards. Each player who revealed a character with the lowest printed cost may put that character into play.
That art matches the card's title. Nice. It's for some reason this card makes me it screams Baratheon to me. Like the art and the traits and the name.
I liked what a weak compliment that was. It's like yep, this card certainly exists in our world. It certainly is the card that's tangible and real, and you can play it and put it in your binder.
It can be good. It's after the draw phase ends, so it's like after people have drawn. So the best case scenario is you play this card and you have like a 4 or 5 cost character in your hand, or even like a 3 cost character, and then like your opponent has no cards in their hand and they're top decking, and you're like, yes, I did it, and then you just lose the game.
Yeah.
It's just
you're not gonna have room for this.
No, it's saving grace from not being garbage. Is that it's 5 gold and 6 reserve and 2 initiative, and its traits are technically positive traits.
Really?
Well, because like who's playing that right now? But I'm thinking like the Baratheon. You play this card in Bear, I think, if you do play it, and like the Baratheon one that you'll get extra gold from this. This triggers out to kingdom plot. That triggers out to kingdom plots. I'm gonna give it a 2.5. It's a card.
Sure is.
You just can't. You're never gonna be able to be like, haha, my 7-cost character. You got nothing. Like that won't happen. But
I mean, it will somewhere in the world, but very, very, very unlikely.
That person isn't winning much games.
2 for me.
All right. Littlefinger's Meddling. 4 gold, 1 initiative, 1 claim, 6 reserves. It's a kingdom and has that scheme trait. We were just talking about it. Reduce the cost of each event you play by 2. Each one. No limit.
So, when you read that, it sounds really strong, right?
Yep.
And it can be very strong.
It could be.
It can be very strong. Let me tell you how strong it could be. No. But when you really think about it, what it is a weird economy plot, right?
Yep.
Because if you are firing off events, especially expensive events, let's say you with this card typically get off 2 2-cost events, right? That's basically an 8 gold plot. That's really good. But are you able to trigger those events? Do you have those events in your hand? How many events are you running your deck? How many expensive events are you running? Do you time this right? Like, have those events been intrigued? Like, there's a lot of little moving pieces, but this card can be really gross at the same time. So, like we were talking about that 3-cost Lanny event where this is going to be really nice to get that reduction on. We get 2 extra challenges. But still, you're including a plot for expensive events, which does make me a little nervous. I don't think it's bad. But once again, what it really is an economy plot.
I agree. I think it's a toolboxy plot though. That's why it goes in Reigns of Castamere. I don't know if I'd play it outside of Reigns of Castamere. I know Brandon's grabbing his monitor right now. It's a 5. It reduces events. But it's like, yeah, one comment I have to make is that's the Littlefinger art from the Shadows 10 Littlefinger from first edition, which was a champ card. And the champ card's art is now on this plot, but it's not the champ card. So I'm wondering what's going to happen to that Littlefinger. And that's a Shadows Littlefinger, so are we not getting Shadows back? So that's a little interesting thing to think about. But I'd give this card a 3. It's 4 Reigns of Castamere. It's decent. I get it. But it's too situational.
2.5 from me. All right, and up next we have...
Are we playing the Goosebumps card game now? It's like a little puppet guy from Goosebumps is in there.
Up next, yeah, it is. This art, it's like, I like the color.
He looks like fake. Like she's like, yay, my fake woodman came in today.
Yeah, I like the colors, and I almost like the brush kind of work. It looks like.
I think that's supposed to be Tyrion and Shay, but it's not good.
But it just
He's like Medusa.
He looks like he's like made of plastic.
He has snake hair. Or something.
Snake hair. All right, let's talk about the card. Gossip and Lies. It's a plot. It's got 3 gold, 8 initiative, 1 claim, and 5 reserve. Scheme trait. And says, each character you control does not kneel when declared as an attacker in the first intrigue challenge you initiate during the challenges phase.
I'll just say 2 things about this card. It has high initiative. You're going first. No matter what, you're probably triggering that Tears of List in your hand. You're throwing your Martell and you're putting all your characters into that intrigue challenge because they don't kneel, and you're gonna trigger that Tears of List. Maybe trigger the Viper that you shouldn't be playing right now. But it can't go in the deck that you want it to most, which is Reigns of Castamere, because it has a freaking scheme trait.
Yeah.
Maybe that's gameplay related. I'm thinking more of we're calling it Gossip. I want to give the FFG the benefit of the doubt, but I really think it's like, it's called Gossip and Lies, so that means it just gets a scheme trait. I'm hoping it's more of a gameplay balancing thing. It'd be too easy to win to trigger your agenda if none of your characters knelt that turn.
Well, you can win the intrigue on defense and then flip this, I guess.
True. It can be really good. Not have Tyrion kneel. This is good in Lannister if you're not playing Reigns of Castamere.
Yeah.
It's decent in Lannister.
Well, it's not just a Lannister card, though, let's be honest.
Lannister and Martell, the 2 houses that shout out to me when I see this card.
Yep. What makes this card really good is just characters with renown, or even characters with intimidate, because, good lord, you're probably going to win by, 20 strength or so if all your characters are not kneeling.
And you have a Tyrion stealth, maybe?
You're going to kneel someone, trust me. This card it's really, really strong. That initiative is great, especially because you're probably going to want to go first with this thing.
It corrected the mistake of the first edition one, too, by saying it's the first intrigue challenge. It's not all intrigue challenges. It's just that first intrigue challenge that you do. So when you have when you have Casterly Rock out, you're not just...
It's a little narrow-minded, but it can be very powerful. And I just really like that reserve. I'm going to give it a 3 point... Or, not reserve, the initiative.
Yep.
3.5.
3.5 for me, too. It's a solid plot in the right deck.
Alrighty.
All right.
My man, what has happened? Long time, no see.
Wow, things are winding down here.
Yeah.
It's a long journey. We have A Time for Harvest. It's another summer plot, which I'm excited for. More season plots. 6 gold, 1 initiative, 1 claim, 7 reserve. Each player, so it's an 8 reserve in a summer agenda deck. Each player draws 1 additional card during the draw phase.
Oh, it's also 7 gold in a summer deck. Good, right?
It's good.
Card draw's good.
But it's good for them too. Does that make it bad? Does that bring it down a little bit?
Does it?
if they both players are drawing one card, it's even. That's kind of how summer always was in 1.0.
Yeah.
Let's both have
Well,
good
so
things
far,
happen.
I mean, a lot of the summer plots are just kind of vanilla, and this kind of fits with that, where it's like really good stats and just kind of a vanilla ability, right?
Yeah.
Kind of fits in with the summer stuff so far. Definitely not a bad card though.
Yeah. It's so right now people are playing summer decks. If they're not, they're always opening Summer Harvest usually, and they're playing a summer deck. Does this not replace it? Maybe, but is this a different opener, or is this more of a late game? I'm not running tons of Lord and Ladies. This is my version of a Noble Cause in my deck. Drawing another card. I probably have more gold than you, but we're both drawing a card.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's hard to say. Yeah, it's a weird.
It's like another economy plot.
It's a weird mix between Close Call and Summer Harvest almost. Where you're getting the card like you would with Close Call, but you're getting the economy almost on the same, almost as much as the Summer Harvest would give you, or the same. So yeah, it fits right in there with those. So if you like those plots, you're gonna like this. I want to say 3.5, but it is pretty vanilla, so I'm gonna give it a 3.
I'm gonna give it a 4. I think it's a good economy plot for a summer deck.
Okay. Last but not least, are we there? Have we done
Yes.
it? Last but not least, we have our final plot called The Fall of Early Frost. Hopefully, that's this one was translated, so hopefully that's what it's called. It has a winter trait: 3 gold, 4 initiative, 2 claim, 4 reserve, and it says each player draws 1 fewer card during the draw phase.
I bet it's like the early frost of fall. I bet that's what it really is. Who knows?
Yeah, the fall of early frost. That's an interesting wording. So apologies if it's different.
This is in a winter deck. This is initiative. This is reserve 3. I like it a little more than Winds of Winter because you can really put that stranglehold on someone where like you're gonna draw 1 less card this turn. I got 2 claim. You have 1 less gold, but it has hits your reserve 2. You're not drawing a card too. It's interesting. I think it's better than Winds of Winter because it's doing something.
Yeah, you're pushing your advantage
Yes.
with this, right? It's like you got your opponent down. You want to make sure they don't top deck anything good, and this is one way to make sure they don't get an answer at least.
This could be the plot you play when you're like, I'm gonna try to win this turn. I want that 2 claim. I want them to draw 1 less answer. I have the advantage right now. You're gonna draw 1 less card. I'm doing better than you right now, and I'm gonna try to close this game.
Yeah.
But
But you draw 1 less card too, so
yes.
It's
But you get 2 claim for it.
It's a hit 'em when they're down kind of a card.
Yeah.
And I don't tend
It's
to play
competing with Famine too, I think, because
Yeah.
Famine's an interesting plot you try to fall up first Noah sometimes.
I don't tend to play the 2 claim winter plots right now. I think they're okay. I'm just gonna give this a 3 as well.
I'm gonna give it a 3.5.
Yeah, I'm tempted, but I'm gonna stick with my guns.
So that's the whole pack. We're gonna head out of the Wolfswood here and kind of go over the whole pack in general.
Oh, all right, let's do it.
So, what did you think houses overall? What houses do you think ended up getting the short stick? Which house got the best of it? I'm thinking Lannister obviously got the best of it. It's their box.
I mean, like there might be some duds in there, but yeah, you can't argue the power level of some of those cards. They got a lot of great stuff. I think Lannister comes out on top, of course.
Once again, Stark is ahead of the pack, though. It's just getting solid card after solid card.
Yep. Jane and the Scouts are just 2 really good solid cards for Stark.
Greyjoy got the best card, though, in the entire box, I think.
Victarion.
You don't build a deck around him. He doesn't slot into any specific deck, like, say, Cersei or Tyrion, but he's just a solid character that can slot in many deck types. Martell just got garbage. Yeah, it's just, here's some blah cards. I'm just glad it wasn't 2 more events that said if you lose a challenge, blah, blah,
Well,
blah.
at the same time, I think it's probably Martell's turn to get some bad cards, right? They've got a lot of good stuff lately.
Yeah, they had a target kill Spear Maiden ally, non-unique
Well, and
character,
Tyene was pretty recent, and they've got
attachments and stuff,
yeah,
but-
Nymeria.
Yeah, Night's Watch this is the like kind of broke the Night's Watch streak a little bit of getting bonkers
Yep.
cards.
Which
But-
is probably good. We need to slow that down a little bit.
I think overall though, like in the grand scheme of things, the other houses didn't get that great of cards in the grand scheme of everything.
Yeah, if you look at the box as a whole, yeah.
And
Certainly some goodies, but
the neutral ones were the worst out of all of the houses too, because I think the neutral cards were mostly just play me later cards.
Yeah.
I'm
Small Council,
just
Wildlings.
wait, I'm building something, trust me, it's going to be something.
Yeah.
So but let's talk about which were the best individual cards of the pack. Let's start with the shining examples of great cards here.
Yep. I mean,
It's interesting seeing that Greyjoy character though on top.
right on top, he says,
Yeah.
"Sorry, Lannisters, I got this one." Yeah. But you can't argue with that card.
No, and that's 3 solid new mains that Lannister got.
Yeah.
And the best part is they're not just let me slot these 3 new amazing cards into my Lannister deck. They're let me build a new amazing
Yeah.
Lannister deck, which is great for this game right now.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to the stinkers. All right, coming in at the bottom 5, we have Daenerys' Favor, followed by Sir Barristan. I may be a little harsh on him, but
You were a little harsh, but sure.
followed
okay.
by Sir Lancel, followed by the Shield of Whatever, and followed by you murdered her children.
Yeah.
We're gonna put that at the bottom of the stack there.
Sorry, Martell, not sorry.
I'm a little bummed that Targ didn't get anything fancy. It's just,
Targ.
yeah, they just didn't get anything.
Yep, it's just kind of blah.
And I'm fine with seeing 2 Lannister cards on the bottom.
Yeah.
You're gonna get that variance.
If Lannister only got great cards in this box, we would all be in a lot of trouble.
But I think Targ and Martell were the losers here because you can't see it now, but Tristane was right on that edge. We barely decided Daenerys' Favor was worse than him.
Yeah.
So they didn't get anything spectacular. So
Yep. So yeah, really interesting box. A lot of interesting cards you want to build decks around. I really like that unexpected delay plot. Other factions like Greyjoy and Stark got some really fun cards as well. Of course, Lannister just blew them wide open as far as deck building goes. And Reigns of Castamere might be the overall highlight of the box. Maybe not the best card, but
Yeah.
it's like boom.
what Lannister deck are you most excited to build right now? Is it something old, something new, or a little bit of both?
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
Cersei, she's calling to me, so
I love that
I
Cersei.
want to abuse her as best as I can.
Everyone
just
wants to
just
be
like
Cersei.
Jamie, just like Jamie would.
Oh, okay. All right. Our next upcoming series.
We're gonna end on that note.
No.
Bye guys, thanks for listening. See you on the next Wolfswood. Winter is coming. End video.
The next pack we have coming up, review is going to be There's My Claim. I hear there's a special plot coming out in that may or may not shake up the meta.
I wonder.
We may have a special video coming related to that card, so keep your eye out for that.
Yeah.
Cameron has a little secret little show that's coming out.
Do I?
Yep. You guys may have to listen into that.
Wonder.
Well, that's going to be it for this episode of the Wolfswood. Thanks for listening in. This is our longest review ever, but people seem to like those videos. They get the most views.
Well,
so.
it's a box, right? So what can
It's
you
a
expect?
lot of cards.
It's a lot of cards to get through. We try not to go on too many tangents. We try to keep it content focused and oriented, and really just talk about the cards, and try to have some fun along the way. But hope you guys like what we do here.
And don't forget, guys, vote for green. Team Maesters.
Team Army.
We
are
are
you kidding?
supporting. I can't hear you.
Army.
Can't hear you.
Team Army.
All right. Next we have Shega, son of Dwarf. Edit.
Is it Shega?
Yeah, it's Shega. Next we have Shega, son of Dwarf. Gosh, edit.
Dolph?
Yeah, I keep saying dwarf for some reason. Next we have Shega. God.
This is going in the B-roll. This is going in the B-roll.
like how his axe is there too. All right, next we have. All right. Woo. All right.
Oh.
Shaga, son of Dolph. Shaga. I can't stop smiling now. All right. Next we have Shaga, son of Dolph. He's a unique three.
You had it. You had it.
I know you're laughing. So
I didn't say anything.
Maybe you should read this one.
Okay, how about this? You say Shaga son of, and I'll say Dolph.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, I got this time.
Okay.
Next, we have a unique character. You can't.
I didn't say anything.
You can't be laughing.
I didn't say anything.
Right. Okay, I need to wait a second here. All right.
And up next we have what the fuck? What am I even looking at? Okay. All right. Okay. Okay.
Taena.
Edit.
All right, moving on to locations. We have a unique location, Golden Tooth Mines. It's 2 costs loyal.
No, it's just Golden Tooth.
Oh, I'm so used to 1.0. Golden Tooth Mines, just draw 1 card every turn. All right. Ugh, this got a higher rating than that last event.
As it should.
Let me do a water break now that we're in a shit break. What did you rate it?
A 2. Edit that. Edit that, you son of a bitch. Edit.
Start all over.
Here we go.
Start all over.
I got it.
Everything, all over.
The whole video?
Yeah, let's just give up.
Give up and die. All right.
I need a quick switch.
What do we who's reading?
Me. I'm always the left. You're right.
You're right. You're right about that.
And Brandon's the queen. All right. I think I was a little too harsh on Barristan Selmy, but whatever.
Yep. That's what I was trying to say. I'm like, I know you think this is really bad, but it's like just bland is all it is.
We should watch Lord of the Rings next. Those movies are so good. I can watch those like once a year. May it be a shooting star. Frodo. Run, you fools. All right, so here's our top 5. That's pretty good. I can't keep that Lord of the Rings thing in. It will sound like insane.
Dude, are you kidding? That's beautiful. You have to keep it.
It's like, what is happening?
That's why people like it.